Well, good afternoon once again for the first installment of the Live Wire for 2014. Thank you for putting us on your screen on Inside UNC Charlotte. And today we're going to be talking about a new and coming development here on campus with Michele Howard, who has been at UNC Charlotte for nearly 2 decades, 17 years, 13 years as Dean of Students. And Dean of Students no longer, which may be a surprise to some folks watching, but then again, I think word has gotten out about your new adventure. But your new adventure has something to do with going back to high school. Tell us what you're up to.
I am, Stephen, the director of the Early College Program here at UNC Charlotte. And what that means is that I am the university's liaison to Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools in the creation of an early college high school on our campus. And so beginning next fall, the university will have a Charlotte-Mecklenburg High School located physically here on the campus of UNC Charlotte with an entering freshman class of 100 students.
And we're going to dissect the details of this high school that's coming to our campus. And I know that word has spread over these last few months that it's coming. And in fact, very clear word has spread to parents of potential students in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg system, because this is a magnet school and it's meant to attract students with an interest in engineering, emphasis on energy, and
Correct.
really meant to put us on the map as showing our connection to STEM education from high school through college. And that's how this works. It is like the name says. In other words, students come here as high school freshmen, and they will not only graduate as high school graduates, but with a little bit of college under their belts as well, right?
Correct. So the Early College High School is classified as a cooperative, innovative high school option within Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. It is a STEM school, science, technology, engineering, and math, but the particular focus of the high school on our campus will be engineering, and more specifically than that, energy. And so EPIC, the Energy Production Infrastructure Center on our campus, is a major partner with the school, along with the entire College of Engineering. But first and foremost, it is an engineering high school. The students will come to our campus beginning in the 9th grade. It is a 5-year high school, which is a different approach and new to Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, meaning that students will begin in grade 9 and they'll go through grade 13, or like a super senior year. During that time, in the first year, the students will complete predominantly high school classes and will not take any college classes. But then beginning in their sophomore year of high school, they will start taking UNC Charlotte college classes that will be taught by UNC Charlotte faculty members, and they'll take them with UNC Charlotte students. So it's not like we're offering special sections of classes to the high school students. They will be mainstreamed, if you will, into regular UNC Charlotte classes. Beginning in the sophomore year and then continuing through that grade 13, they'll start taking more and more college classes that by the time they get to grade 13, they will have majority of UNC Charlotte classes with only probably just a couple of high school degree requirements left to take. So that's the beauty of early college programs, is it enables students to complete their high school degree requirements and up to 2 years of transferable college credit at the university level for students who participate and complete the program.
So for most students, you're trading off 13th grade for, in a sense, coming out ahead as you step into college as well, then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They'll come out ahead in terms of their preparedness and the number of college credits that they have. And they'll also have spent 5 years of their life on a college campus. And so
Yes.
they'll know what that's like. They'll know what the demands of college are as opposed to high school. And the beauty of the early college program as a whole is that those families do not pay for those college credits and the tuition, and that's covered by the state through the Department of Public Instruction. And so that's the greatest benefit for families.
Very much the beauty of that is, yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at some of the slides you brought along that help us review the details, because we want the folks who are part of the UNC Charlotte community to kind of get these facts down as you're out talking about this in the community. And on this first slide, I think we've pretty much covered most of these points, but that third item there, I just want to be sure we're clear. Fall 2014, so in other words, this coming fall,
Yes.
It'll be here before we know it, an entering freshman class of 100 students. So to be clear, we are not starting with a full-on, fully loaded high school. We're starting with one class of freshmen. Is that right?
That's correct. We will
Okay.
start with the freshman class of no more than 100 students, and then each year we'll continue to add a freshman class until 5 years from now we'll be at the full operating capacity of the school with 500
Okay.
students total, 100 per grade level.
Got it.
And that's a different approach to starting a school than many districts see, but it's important because of the curriculum of the school and that students really approach learning through a cohort-based approach. And so it would be very, very difficult to start a school of this nature with 11th or 12th graders.
And it's got to be exciting to be in that select group. And in a minute, we'll talk a little bit about the selection process. But there must be sort of a pioneering spirit that's going to emerge pretty quickly with that group. Now, this next slide talks a little bit about the entrance criteria for the students. It reminds us that it is a competitive process to get in and a lucky process to get in, kind of? Is that how it works?
Absolutely. Yeah. Students apply through the magnet options through the CMS website. And so if they were interested in the school, they would note it as one of their school choices and complete the application like they would for any other school. Then for students at the early college high school, there's a supplemental application that the students and parents have to complete with additional information that we need from them. There's a short essay that the students must complete, and then they have the opportunity, if they choose, to submit recommendations from a principal, a guidance counselor, or a teacher at their middle school. Other factors that will be looked at in addition to the application is we will look at the students' end of grade test results from the 7th grade, because we don't have 8th grade results currently during the lottery process, and look at their academic preparedness, particularly in math, with it being an engineering school. We also will look at students' records of attendance or behavioral issues to see what implications there may be in that arena as well. But we'll certainly look at why they're interested in a school of this nature and what they think they could take away from that and what they may be able to bring to that experience as well.
Sure. And I know that parents and families who are looking at this process know full well that the process is underway. So there's no mystery there, but you are finding that there's a good bit of interest in this program as you're out speaking with parents and families at events where you have the opportunity to explain it.
Absolutely.
Word has gotten out that it's...
Absolutely. The Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Options Fair was a couple of weeks ago, which was really the first big marketing effort that we did for this high school. And we had over 150 families who expressed interest in the school and wanted to know more information. There are a series of 4 town hall meetings, if you will, over the next couple of weeks, or open houses that CMS is offering throughout the county to talk to parents and students and to give out more information and to answer questions about that. It was very exciting for me to talk with the families and particularly the students about their interest in the school and their interest in science, technology, engineering, and math, but particularly in engineering, and to see how much they want to come to this school. There were several of them at the fair who had not really heard very much about the school, but after talking with us, wanted this to be their first option of a high school for themselves or for their children. And that was very exciting to see. Overall, the response was incredibly positive, and I believe there's a lot of interest in this school within the CMS community.
I think that's one of the, I guess it's obvious, but one of the built-in positive features of the magnet program across the board is that by the time the student is selected, those who are fortunate enough to not only qualify but lucky enough to have their numbers drawn in the lottery, they're going to be going someplace where they really want to be. And with all the other problems that exist in that age range, you know, in high schools in general, it's a pretty positive thing to be in a school where most of the kids who are there because they want to be there, and they're not there because it's the only choice. So.
Absolutely. I think it creates a great learning community for the students. I think there's a strong sense of camaraderie and support. I do believe there's competition present there, because I think there is in every high school, you know, in terms of accolades and grades and things of that nature. But I think because so much of the work for the students in an early college is done in teams and in collaboration with one another and hands-on, that it does create a very different environment. And I think you're right, part of that is attributed to the fact that the students really want to be there and have chosen to be there as opposed to assigned.
Yeah,
And
I think
that
it'd
makes
be
an impact.
fascinating just to follow that first group of 100 and see where they end up too.
Yes.
Maybe with hope they'll all end up here at UNC Charlotte to finish those last 2
Right.
years and keep going too, and just stay together as sort of the ultimate cohort.
Right.
So that'd be kind of fun.
We'll definitely be doing that.
So as you told us at the outset, and this next slide indicates, it is a 5-year program. I think it's a given that we're talking about a technology-rich program because it's going to be right here on campus. And these items here that are part of the curriculum talk, I think, a little bit, or maybe quite clearly, about the fact that it's based here at UNC Charlotte. And in a minute, we're going to look at a picture that indicates where we'll physically be locating this school. But to what extent will the curriculum of this school draw physically from the resources that are here at UNC Charlotte?
I think the curriculum will be based heavily on the resources at the university, because again, beginning as sophomores, the students are going to be taking UNC Charlotte classes. And what we've done is we're looking at degree requirements for majors within the College of Engineering and trying to map some of the courses in the high school to those degree requirements. But we also want the course offerings to be generic, if you will, enough so that if a student decides they don't want to be an engineer, because unfortunately some of them may that attend this school, they still have a strong foundation if they want to major in math or technology or biology or the liberal arts for that matter. So we're also really looking at the university's general education requirements. We want to build in longitudinal research opportunities for these students in partnership with the university and in collaboration perhaps with EPIC, where students can be exposed to the great work that's going on at the university as a high school freshman and then continue that possibly even through their college careers here at the university. So I believe they will get to see and experience a lot of outstanding teaching and research and learning that goes on here at the university, which will not only benefit the students, but will benefit the university as well.
And as I said, we'll take a look in a bit at the slide that shows the location. And I suppose I want to keep people in suspense just to keep them watching the live wire. But just to clarify, though, we're not talking about 100 high school freshman age students who are suddenly going to be walking about our campus covering the same territory that our traditional aged university students are, right? This is going to be a group that's isolated or insulated.
Insulated, that's
Okay.
a great word. The plans for the facility will be that Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools will bring a modular building to our campus that will be a self-contained school.
Okay.
And so the high school classes for these students that meet their high school degree requirements will be offered within the confines of that facility. But then once they start taking UNC Charlotte classes, they'll be taking those classes all over our campus with regular regularly enrolled UNC Charlotte students. One of the things, though, that we want to do is to ensure that they take those classes in groups of early college high school students. We wouldn't want just one of them to be in a UNC Charlotte class of 75 students.
Sure.
But on the flip side, we don't want all 100 early college high school students in the same section of UNC Charlotte class either. And so we want to give them a true university experience in the classroom, but to do that with the knowledge that they are 14 and 15 and 16-year-old students.
What's the track record at comparable schools in North Carolina or anywhere else in the country when it comes to answering the question of what is the impact of having high school sophomore age students in the same class as university freshmen and sophomore and maybe even older students? Is there any kind of negative impact on the traditionally aged university students?
I have not been told that, and I have visited last fall 5 different early college high school campuses, and I haven't heard that at all.
Okay.
What I've heard on the reverse is that often faculty members enjoy having the high school students in their class. They're eager to learn. I think they also feel, Stephen, that they have to prove themselves maybe to the university or certainly their peers. They want to blend in. They don't want to be or to look or act like high school students. And so I think they strive to do well academically and to do well socially in terms of integrating into the campus environment. Just last week I was in a meeting with the principal of the early college high school, which is also a STEM school at NC State, who was sharing with me the outstanding performance of their students in their classes that they take at NC State. And they're in their 3rd year of operation for their STEM early college high school. And so they're really just hitting more college classes now in their curriculum. And how well the students performed academically last fall was very, very impressive. And so I think there may be some apprehension from some folks at the university what that's going to be like, but I also believe that within the confines of the high school, we're going to do everything we can to make them ready to take college classes and to support them when they do.
And support them when they do, I guess, leads to my next question, which is when it comes to guidance counseling, having somebody to talk to, having the resources that you expect to find in a high school and you expect to find on a university campus, who's going to serve the young to mid-teenage students?
So within the high school, there'll be a guidance counselor, there'll be a career counselor there. Obviously, there's a principal and administrative staff that will support them. And then my role with these students will be to serve as like their academic advisor to the university. And so somewhat similar to when I was the dean of students, if they have a question or a challenge or a problem or concern, then they can come to me and I will help them to navigate the university waters to figure that out and to provide resources for them, to advocate for them if they need that, or to teach them how to advocate for themselves. So I also believe that their teachers, their high school teachers, will serve in counseling roles for them, but they will also provide tutoring services for these students. And so if they're struggling with a UNC Charlotte calculus course, then their high school teachers will be available to assist them and to provide some additional tutoring or resources or support that UNC Charlotte students may not have as readily or in that environment. So while it's a challenging academic environment, I believe that CMS is putting a lot of support mechanisms in place to help them meet those challenges.
Great. We're talking about the coming early college high school that will be on the UNC Charlotte campus this fall 2014. And we're speaking with Michele Howard, who most recently and for the past 13 years was Dean of Students at UNC Charlotte and is now heading up this new initiative that is a partnership between our university and CMS. And we're going through some of the slides that Michele takes with her when she's off on the road explaining what's coming. Let's take one more look at a slide here that I think is pretty interesting. 77 early college schools in North Carolina, 15,000 students. That's pretty impressive. And when it says we're a national leader, is that in terms of the sheer numbers there? Or?
It is the sheer numbers.
Yeah.
There are more early college high schools in North Carolina than anywhere else in the country. The early college movement started in the state in 2003 with North Carolina New Schools, and through a partnership with the State Board of Education and the Gates Foundation. So people throughout the country look to what we're doing in North Carolina at these schools. Of those 77, the majority of them are located at community colleges throughout the state, but there are more and more early colleges at the University of North Carolina schools. And so that's a growing trend, I believe. For the first time last fall, North Carolina New Schools hosted a national conference for early colleges, and there were over 500 educators from as far away as Hawaii and Alaska who came to this conference to learn what we're doing in North Carolina and also to share information about what they're doing in their states as well. So we are definitely a leader in the early college movement, and it's exciting for CMS and UNC Charlotte to be a part of that.
And the map is a pretty clear, well, it's quite literally a clear picture, but it really shows us what you're talking about. Our state is covered with these schools, and as you just said, most have arisen on campuses of our community colleges. How many, including ours in this coming fall, then are at university campuses?
There are early college high schools at North Carolina A&T, Fayetteville State, UNC Wilmington, NC State, North Carolina Central. There's a new early college starting in Asheville that's a partnership with the community college there in UNC Asheville. UNC Greensboro is involved with middle colleges and are also highly connected to the early college movement. They don't have an early college high school on their campus, but that's the majority of the university campuses that are involved. And we have learned a lot from visiting some of those schools and in talking with their staff that helps us to build the foundation of the school here at Charlotte.
And we can confidently say that we do a number of things well at UNC Charlotte, and so it's fitting that being a STEM-themed school is a good place to start. There are certainly other areas in which we could have started as well, but this map is interesting too because it shows those schools that are in existence or coming this fall in the case of ours that are related to STEM. And STEM as an emphasis in education now at all levels is something that's here to stay. This is not a fad, right?
Right.
And we are, let's see if we have this on our, there are others that are schools that emphasize energy and sustainability, and that has to do with the industry that's around those locations for the most part? Or?
I would agree, because if you look at, there's a large number of the schools coupled around the Research Triangle area, obviously. Charlotte is an energy hub for the Southeast and for the country, for that matter. And so there are over 200 energy firms and partnerships in the Charlotte metropolitan area. So it just made sense that this high school not only would be an engineering high school, but would have the focus on energy in looking at workforce development needs of the region in the future. The engineering profession in the energy sector is graying, if you will. Yeah. And so when you look down the line, there are going to be high demand for jobs in those areas, which creates a strong need in to create emerging leaders in engineering. So making this school really an engineering school and an energy school was just a given, I think, Stephen, for Charlotte, and will meet a current need, but also I think a future need, a current need for students and their families in terms of educational choice. But I believe that it will make an impact on the engineering and energy sector in the future.
And in just a moment, as promised, we'll take a look at the image that shows the location of our coming school. One of the things that folks here at UNC Charlotte are quick to point out is that an initiative like this, when it comes to partnering with industry in our regional community, like everything we do in this direction, it's aimed at developing the professional workforce, and as you said, the future leaders. And I think it's remarkable that we're talking about the opportunity for a student to come in as a high school freshman and leave here 5 years later with high school and the equivalent potentially of 2 years of college under his or her, as we want to stress, belt. We hope that those students will stay on as UNC Charlotte students. This model of early college high school, what do you think, now that you're really getting into it professionally, is the likelihood that to a larger extent, I guess maybe I dare not say to an entire extent, but how much of this shift are we going to see in the way we educate our children? In other words, as a parent, I look at this and I would say, this is a great deal because I can essentially use my tax dollars that are paying for K-12 and have it pay essentially for K-14 or K-12 plus 2 years of college. That's a great deal. It will help me as a parent offset an awful lot of the cost of higher education. But is this where we're going potentially across the board, and are we learning things from this that we're going to filter in and essentially change the model of K-12?
I think that programs of this nature present additional choices that can change the model of K-12. It can meet a vast array of needs. It would be a great opportunity for students with high intellectual ability, but it also could be a great opportunity for a student who has solid math and science skills, but is not the top student in the class, and who it may be a wonderful program and opportunity for students who never would have a chance to go to college, or who don't even think they have the ability to go to college. And so I believe that early colleges are leading the reform in K-12, not only in North Carolina, but throughout the country. I also think that there are, it attracts a different niche of students than a traditional high school, because it doesn't offer all the same things that a traditional high school does. It offers more in the academic arena, but
where's the prom?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and many of them have proms.
How do you play softball?
But they don't have sports.
Yeah.
They don't have band. They don't have cheerleading.
Right.
Now, students can participate in those activities, band, cheerleading, and athletics, at what would be their home high school in the district, schedules permitting in terms of, and families would be responsible for their own transportation for that. But not every student wants the type of environment that this school is going to offer too. And so I think it presents a wonderful new choice for students within CMS that's not for everybody, but will meet needs of students that right now are unable to be met, students and families that are unable to be met. And my hope is to make the opportunity to attend college a reality for more students than ever.
Well, let's take a look then at the slide that does give us a sense of where this school is going to be located, and you can explain what we're looking at and the fact that this is part of a presentation where you've also talked about other possibilities, but we have zeroed in on where we're going with this facility, right? So tell us what we're looking at in this picture.
So the modular building will be located on the campus of the Charlotte Research Institute, which is located right off of Highway 29. It is very close to our Energy Production Infrastructure Center, or EPIC, because again, the focus on energy for the school was very important for us to have it physically located in close proximity to EPIC and to all of the resources within the College of Engineering, that while there are classrooms and engineering facilities across campus, the main portion of that college is on the Charlotte Research Institute campus. And so the location is behind the CRI deck near the entrance off of J.W. Clay to campus.
So in this picture, it's the
In
box
this
numbered
picture,
3.
it is box number 3,
Got it.
which is closest to the drive. And on this picture, the blue line is Highway 29.
Okay.
Another reason for the site is not only to the proximity to EPIC, but it will also be very close to light rail, which could provide another transportation option for students once the light rail comes on board. The school is classified as a district-wide magnet for CMS, and so CMS will be providing transportation to the students through the shuttle system. But the light rail, I think, will be a nice addition for the students. Part of the program also, Stephen, the students will have to do internships and job shadowing with engineering professions.
So the train's perfect.
So the train is just really perfect and part of the infrastructure for the school.
Now those modular buildings, in theory, are meant to be temporary.
That's correct.
So if we were to play that out theoretically speaking, are we talking about a permanent structure yet?
We have not had conversations about a permanent structure yet. We've been focused on getting this school up and running in about 8 months now.
Are we talking about a double wide for 100 kids, or are we going all out and being ready for 500 in a modular structure?
It will be a modular structure that will be the school for 500 students. And so it's about a 10 to 12,000 square foot self-contained building. It's not a series of individual classrooms.
Double wide. I just
right, but that's what people think.
Some of them are.
And when you ride past a school, you see lots of little individual modulars
Pods,
there, and so it's not like that.
Okay.
It's a totally self-controlled building with administrative offices in there and restrooms, and so it's self-contained.
Now, as you said earlier, as the students are moving along in their high school curriculum, and they'll be adding some UNC Charlotte courses, and those that aren't necessarily taught in EPIC or even on the CRI campus, that's a long haul to get to class if I'm going from a building over by the CRI deck to Fretwell.
Right.
Wow, how do I do that?
The students will use the UNC shuttle system just like UNC Charlotte students do, but we will have to look at scheduling of the high school classes and those college classes, and that's going to be a challenge for us. We've got a year and a half or so to figure some of that out, but you're going to have to look at timing of when the UNC Charlotte classes are placed within their high school schedule in order to make that happen. And what I will suggest is that their college classes be more back-to-back in nature, because you don't want them to be like a boomerang and going back and forth between the main campus at UNC Charlotte and the modular, because that won't be a good use, I don't think, of anyone's time, and might wear them out in the process of so. And like regular, if you will, UNC Charlotte students, our students try as best they can to plan their classes geographically around one another, so they aren't doing that phenomenon either. So I think that will be good lessons learned for them, but we're going to facilitate that process and have some control over what university classes they take and when. But
if you were to look back on your career, you spent 13 years as Dean of Students, you spent just an awful lot of time even at other institutions on the student affairs side of university administration. Would this be about the goofiest thing you could have imagined if somebody had come to you 10 years ago and said you'd be doing this?
Absolutely. If someone had come to me a year and a half ago and said I would be doing this, I would have been like, I'm doing what? Interestingly enough, though, my undergraduate degree is in math education. And so I guess in a way, Stephen, I'm coming back to my roots. I thought I was going to be a math teacher, and I never did. And so it's a great new initiative and opportunity for me to be involved in creating something big for the university from the ground up, and working out the vision of the chancellor and the superintendent, and being in the weeds, if you will, in creating this opportunity, and working at that options fair a couple weeks ago and talking to the students and their parents about this really solidified what a great opportunity I have to make an impact not only on the university but the students and their families and the region. And so I would never have thought that I would have been creating a high school. I didn't know very much at all on July 1st about K-12 education, and I still don't know very much and have a whole lot to learn, but I've learned and grown a lot, and love the challenges and opportunities this affords me.
You know, it's almost in some smidgen of a way, kind of like doing what Bonnie Cone did, you know, and there's some connection there too, I think, to the history of our institution. But you are somebody people see on campus quite a bit, and I would imagine that as folks see this and continue to see it on YouTube, that they might have some questions. So for the folks who are part of the UNC Charlotte community or otherwise, you're pretty much open to all questions and have probably heard them all by now, but happy to answer them some more.
Absolutely. So my information is out there in the online directory, and so feel free to email me or call me. And if I don't know the answer, because I don't know all the answers, then I can certainly find out from my colleagues at CMS as we go through. I'd be more than happy to do that.
Well, we already have something big to look forward to then for next fall. So, Michele Howard, we thank you for being with us on the Live Wire, and we thank you for putting Live Wire on your screens today. And we will be back again at this same time next week with another edition. So thank you once again for joining us, and we'll see you then.
Thanks.
Good.